Hello and welcome to the Build with Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to assemble a model kit, and I'm also here to hang out with all of you. And I'm going to start things off by throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego to the site, the Tier 2 blue emote in the chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you are not yet a subscriber, you can say hi. You can use other people's emotes. You can also, if you just want to be a lurker, you can just go ahead and lurk. That's also okay. It is a Saturday. Collision aired on Thursday because of college basketball, so I don't have to rush out of here and get the replay going. So that's nice. I can just relax a little bit on a Saturday. Lashbrook is here. The appointment viewing tonight, of course, is that we are working on the Kurofune Python high grade. Now the Python it's the Serpent Custom. It is the Serpent Custom from Wing Endless Waltz, Gundam Wing Endless Waltz. It is the grunt from there. This is a third-party company. This is our second third-party that we built on stream, not to be confused with the Death Scythe we built last year, which was, of course, a bootleg. That was pretending to be a Bandai product. This is just doing it. They made a kit that just so happens to look like a kit from a show. It's all a coincidence because it's called the Python. It's not the Serpent at all. We know we are aware that that this is involved in minor shenanigans. If I seem sweaty during this stream, it is only because I'm sweating. It's the reality of the fact that it's hot in here. It's quite warm in this room. I got my window open. I got a little fan going. It's not doing anything. I would love to have the air conditioning on, but it's not hot enough in the rest of the house to justify that. So instead, I must suffer from my art. Let's go to the overhead camera. Art can mean a lot of things, including entertainment while entertaining an audience while building a model kit. That is art. I am doing art right now. As you can see, we also have a bit of art here. We have the Python. Now, the colors on this are pretty close to the colors we're looking for on the actual Serpent. They are not well represented in the photo, the promotional image that is sent out that is above me. That's above there. To the point where on some instances, I think it's better. In one, I'm bummed. The barrels of our double guns, unfortunately, do not have that lovely silver color that we are seeing there. They do not look fake silver plastic, unfortunately. That is maybe the biggest bummer of this kit. Also, if you missed my stream on Thursday, there is some accidental undergating going on with this kit, and not purposeful undergating like you see in a real grade. This is accidental. I'm just going to put these arms here so they're, I know where they are. Working on the shoulders right now. But yeah, it's accidental. Occasionally it just means that the parts don't break away clean, and you got to do a little cleanup, on some of these parts. This is made by a third-party company. The instruction manual is a little small for my personal liking, but it is detailed and it is in color, and I do appreciate that. There was only one sticker, the big eye sticker, the green sticker you see there. That's the only sticker this kit came with, which is lovely. That is really nice. That is not something you see all the time on one of these kind of kits. It might just be that they don't want to produce a lot of stickers. That might be the only reason. But yeah, there's a little nub in here that I'm going to trim off. And that's important for a kit like this because some of the tolerances might be a little off or a little snug because who knows? Now, this kit was inexpensive. This was like, I actually don't know. I want to see if I can look up how much that was. Hold on. Let me see if that's going to be the Python. There shouldn't be too many emails in here that say Python in it. Oh, actually, that's not true. There's a bunch of them. job search stuff that includes that. Okay, that's shipping information. That's fine. Ship your order. Order confirmation. There we go. All right, I spent $20 on this, plus shipping. So honestly, that's a crazy good price. Now, of course, it's a third-party kit, right? This is not an official Bandai product. If I was buying a high grade from Bandai for $20 plus shipping, I would be fucking stoked in 2026 to do that. So there will be some parts of this that are, they don't line up, may not line up perfectly. You might have to do a little adjustment, a little a finagling, a term you could use there, to get these parts to work. But at the end of the day, again, this is a $20 kit of a model kit that does not have a modern equivalent. If I wanted to, let's see, let's look at, let's go to Gundam Planet, where I bought this from. If I go to Gundam Planet, and I look up the Serpent high grade. Serpent HG. The Serpent high grade. There are two things that pop up here. Let's look at the equivalent, which is the high grade. The high grade, which would be the equivalent of this, the 1/4 scale. If I look here, and I go to, if I want to buy it, it is sold out. They do not have it. They have it listed as it costing $11, which is very funny because they don't have the kit. But they're like, oh yeah, that would be $11. Which to me, that's very funny. All right, so then if I look, let's see, what if I go to USA Gundam Store? Does USA Gundam Store have it? If I go to USA Gundam Store and I look up the Serpent, look up Serpent HG, they do not have it listed. They don't even have a page for it, for the Serpent. And then we'll just try Amazon here real quick. This kit hasn't had a reissue in a very long time. I am not surprised that it's not easily available. The Serpent Custom. It is currently selling. There is one available. And it is selling for $70. Someone is selling the Serpent Custom for $70 on Amazon. And there, again, one in stock. So, $70 to get one of them from years ago. Or $20, plus shipping, of course, to just get a third party. If this is anyway halfway decent, so far it has been, that's a fantastic deal. Would I prefer to buy a official Bandai product? Of course. I am not in the business of buying bootlegs. We did one for kind of discovery of a kit that also is incredibly rare and expensive these days. Oh man, it would be so great if Bandai actually put out the Death Scythe Hell Custom from Endless Waltz high grade, and I could just buy that, like a 2026 version of that, or 2027. Like, that would be phenomenal. I don't think we're getting that. So if the best case scenario for me is, to buy a bootleg, that was also, there were extenuating circumstances with that purchase. But I know that there was a third-party company several years ago now, that did a 1/100 scale of the Death Scythe Hell, and that looked fantastic. Did not end up picking that up at the time. Now I bet that's very hard to find, because one thing about third-party companies is they often just fucking disappear. Could it be cease and desist? Certainly could be. It also could easily just be that they made their money and moved on, that the people they were working from or getting product from or getting supplies from shut down or changed their business, that it just wasn't profitable. They went out of business just from trying to survive. This piece does not fit in here. It is not fitting in, so I am going to try to see if there is a nubbin somewhere. I don't see a nubbin. But yes, this piece is not lining up. It should just snap right in here into place, and it isn't doing that. And that is most likely... oh, it looks like the... Okay, so it does look like it lines up right. But that is most likely just because it's a bootleg. But, okay, did I get there? It should just snap right into place, and it's not. I'll use some liquid cement later if I have to, but right now we'll just kind of go with that. And then we'll need one of these and one of these, and we can put these two aside for the other shoulder, which we will do when this shoulder is done. Put that piece there, and then we can keep moving. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of like the end all is like, obviously if I am buying a kit from a Bandai kit, there are expectations of what I am going to get with said kit, right? I have certain expectations, and they are almost always met. There are occasionally some issues, but for the most part, generally, you got quality control. As I've said here before, if there is an issue with a model kit, when I'm building a model kit and I run into an issue, more often than not, the issue is with me, not the kit. Or at most, the issue is with the instructions not being as clear as I would like. But it is almost never, oh man, Bandai really fucked up here. They really shit the bed with this kit. This build is impossible to get what they want from this. Like, that's, I think maybe in the 2010s that just like that ended there. You know, maybe in the 90s you certainly could make an argument for it. Okay, yeah, so there's a nubbin here that we don't need. Let me take that off. All right, so this is gonna look like this. This I know is gonna go here. It's gonna go like that. Yeah, and then it'll hold up. All right, yeah. Wait. Yeah, I think that's how that goes. And then this goes into this part here. Okay, so that goes up there. Oh, they do give a little guide. Okay. And then we got to put another piece on here, 18. So we'll figure it out. We'll all figure it out. I did some yard work. We got sprinklers working in the house, or in the yard, I should say. So I got those up and running. And then got the front palm that I had to do some work on, that pretty consistently had to get that going. Tomorrow, Easter Sunday, I will spend part of the day moving around various bags of mulch that we were eventually will be put into the yard. Oops, oh, there is a nubbin here I got to take care of. But right now, they're just in the way, and they need to move. And I'm going to do that tomorrow, and it'll be a whole fucking thing. Whole production. Moving some stuff around. Trying to help out where I can. I have a bit of a green thumb, but I think I've said this before. I have little to no actual interest in yard stuff. Like look, if I'm mowing the lawn, I want it to look nice when I'm done. I don't want to half-ass it. All right, so I gotta push this down. Push this down, put a piece on, and then lift it back up because there's some movement in this. But yeah, if I'm asked to do a job, I'm gonna do the job to the best of my ability. But I don't like, oh, the lawn is just all rocks. Sure, that sounds good to me. Oh, the lawn is a bunch of grass. It's okay. We got all these flowers. Flowers are nice. This thing isn't blooming anymore. Okay. Like I don't know. I don't have any skin in the game really. My own personal feelings on that stuff. But I do want to do a good job. All right. Oh, it goes like that. Okay, and then it can snap in place there. All right. And I take this piece here. But yeah, It's going to get hot enough in the rest of this house at some point where we're going to turn the air conditioning on, and I can't wait for it. But right now, that has not been the case. There's a nice little breeze that's coming through, though, so that's nice. But at some point, it's going to be hot enough that you got to turn it on. And I can't wait for that. Can't wait for it. Want the ding-dang air on as soon as I can. Is that a nubbin? No. Oh, yes. There's a little nubbin there. I'm not used to looking out for them. And like with the real grades, they have a point of showing you in the instructions where they are. Obviously, again, these are accidental nubbins. These are not on purpose nubbins. This is, design flaws in the processing, not. So you just kind of be able to look for them, because if you don't catch them, then the pieces might not line up right, and then you got to like pull them apart, snip those pieces off, and then put them back together, and that's not fun. In the second hour, we will talk about some goddamn new anime. That's right, finally, new anime to talk about. Because there were some shows. Because the things that came out earlier in this week, or like Tuesday and Wednesday, were things that like are like season 4 or season 3 of things, and I was like, I don't really want to cover, or season like Dorohedoro, I kind of just want to savor. Like I didn't watch the third episode because they started with 3 episodes, but I didn't watch the third one until today, and I'm like, I just kind of want to savor that shit. It's so good. Lastberg says we had the storm front come through, so it wasn't 90 for once. Hell yeah, love to hear that. All right, so okay, if you do this, come on. There it is. There it is. The missile launcher peeks out. And you close it up. There it is. It's not as smooth as I would like, but I understand why it's not. Again, third-party shenanigans. But yeah, there you go. Plane shoulders, missile shoulders. Kind of cool. This kit, this $20 kit, third-party kit, has a gimmick in it. That's pretty good. You don't get to say that all the time, so that's nice. But yeah, it's going to get worse before it gets better. Actually, it might cool off a little bit tomorrow, but it seems like every night that I'm streaming, it's just going to be warm, and I'm not a fan. Not a fan of that. There's no overhead fan in this room, which would be helpful. But what are you gonna do? But yeah, new anime to talk about in the second hour. One show, I don't know if I'm going to watch episode 2, but I don't know if I'm going to cover it or if I'm just going to move on to something else. I have no idea what to do about one of the shows. And the other show, I think I'm going to keep watching because it's cute in a way that I was like, yeah, all right, I'll watch this. So I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to do. Wait, is this the front? No, that's not the front. This is the front. Yeah. All right, let's panel line the rest of this. Then we can do the other one. Let's see. Is there any news of the world? Hey, we got a couple AI things to talk about here. So we'll start with that. There's like one good bit of AI news. This is the headline from Futurism, the futurism.com. Almost half of the U.S. data centers that were supposed to open this year slated to be canceled or delayed. Hell fucking yeah. Article says, the data centers powering your favorite AI chatbot are running low on helium, cache, and neighbors who don't hate them. This is apparently reporting originally by Bloomberg. Half of the data centers about half slated to open in 2026 will either face delays or cancellations. Now that is taking data from Sightline Climate, which are a market analyst company. 12 gigawatts worth of power-consuming data centers are set to open in the U.S. this year. That's only a third of those actually under construction right now, and the rest are liminal pre-production stage, which could and likely will be canceled. So it's looking like a lot of data centers are just in theoretical right now. Among data centers slated to open in 2027, only about 6.9 gigawatts worth of computing infrastructure are actually under construction, compared to the 21.5 announced. Again, gigawatts of stuff. Hello. So yeah, that's good news. That the money in investing in data centers seems to have dried up. That could benefit. I mean, like, the big one is the obvious one. It will benefit the environment. It will benefit local marginalized communities that these get built around, because I don't know if you know this or not, but the not in my backyard people don't want data centers. They want the quote-unquote benefits, the alleged benefits of those, but they don't want data centers in their area because they are awful environmentally, and also they're bad for your property value. So they don't want them there. But yeah, if they're building less data centers, that's great. Perhaps now, obviously, again, good for the environment, good for folks that work in industries that have been negatively affected by AI. Also, maybe just as a treat, we can say that if they're not building as many data centers, then these AI companies won't actually need as much of the silicone and the chipsets and the processors that they had made deals for. And perhaps some of that can go to other manufacturers who make things that we, need or want. I'm not saying that a bunch of data centers not opening will affect RAM prices, but it's possible. Apparently, there's one big part is they're just supply chain issues. It is often money, but it is also supply chain stuff. There's just some of the things they want they're not getting. So yeah, hopefully far less of them get built, because who knows what they'll be converted to anyway, the ones that exist. Speaking of AI, look, statistically, it is likely that since you are watching this video right now, live or after the fact, statistically, you heard about this fucking Esquire story. This story out of, reporting, in this case done by Kotaku, talking about Esquire Singapore. So, okay, yeah. So, just to kind of explain what this is for folks that might not know. So this is the Python, which is not a mobile suit from the Gundam universe, of course. This Python is made by a third-party company and is an original design. It certainly isn't a third party making their version of the Serpent, which is the grunt kit from that was introduced in Gundam Wing Endless Waltz, which is, of course, a grunt version of the heavy arms from that movie / OVA. And this is a third party making their version, making a modern version that came out in 2026 instead of folks having to scramble to get the old version wherever they could. The released in, I want to say, 1998, maybe 99 is when the Serpent high grade came out, but it's not. It's been a long time. There was also a master grade of it, but yeah. I think the master grade, actually, you know what I want to say? There wasn't a master grade. There was a 1/100 scale of it. because in the days of Gundam Wing, when Gundam Wing was coming out, Bandai was experimenting with 1/100 scale high grades. So I want to say the Serpent was actually a 1/100 scale kit. But it was still a high grade. They're like both high grades. Anyway, we got a shoulder done. You're doing the Wing Zero Verka. Nice. Hell yeah. I love a Wing Zero. It's good. Good design. Okay. Doing some paint. Nice. Love that. Yeah, I'm not going to... I don't get into the paint because I don't have a good setup for it. Certainly, I don't have a good setup for it streaming, but I also don't just have a good setup for it in general. That is something that at some point I would like to kind of dabble in, but right now I'm more focused on just assembly and conversation. So as I was kind of diving into here, we should talk about this thing. So obviously, as you know, the live-action One Piece on Netflix had its second season come out, and they were doing a lot of promotion. They were doing a lot of promotion, all over the world because it's a big international cast, and it's being dubbed in a bunch of different languages and released, and it is I would describe it as a fairly big deal of a production, right? So Maeda. Makanyu Maeda, who plays Zoro, and is mostly just known as Makanyu, was supposed to be interviewed by Esquire Singapore in the beginning of March, and couldn't make this. It was like at a press event in Singapore, and couldn't make it. Had to cancel. Which I must stress this. This is an important thing. Fucking happens all the time. Like, I feel the need to stress that because I saw some people being like, well, he canceled on the interview. What were they supposed to do? And the answer is, well, the first immediate one is, if someone cancels on you, you reschedule. You do email questions, which you don't want to do email questions. You want to do face-to-face because you want video for your socials and all that. You ask to do a Skype call. Not a Skype, but you know what I mean. And back in the day, it was Skype. In this case, it would be a Zoom call, or it would be like a Discord call. You would do something. You would do some kind of thing. Your press agency your management agency has a place for you to go in and record video in a video conference, and you do that. You email questions and you ask them to answer the questions in a video that you can use, which they will. They'll have someone read the questions off camera and answer those questions, and you can just chop it up for your use. There are a number of things you can do if this interview that you were supposed to have, you can't have anymore. So they didn't do any of that. What Esquire Singapore decided that the best course of action for them to do is that they fed a bunch of answers that he has given in other interviews into Claude AI, and then got answers to the questions they asked, and they published that fucking article. They interviewed a fake version of the guy. I forgot the other thing you can do, which is not as seedy as this, but there is a seedy thing you can do, which is there's footage. There's always going to be AP footage out there of people asking questions. What you can do is, or answering questions, I say, you can just take the answers that he gave and make it seem like you interviewed them. And you just do things like told reporters or said at this press event. And you just do an article recapping the answers he's given to questions that other people asked. Is that ethical? No, but it's more gray than fucking doing this bullshit. And so people were like, hey, this sucks. Because fans of his who were excited to read article were like, hey, wait, what's with all of this bullshit? This seems fucked up and weird. And they didn't just like immediately delete it and pretend like it was an error and like, oh, we're experimenting with software and this was for internal use only. We're so sorry. No. They put a statement out. Esquire's Joe Lin from Singapore said, we were stoked to have some FaceTime with the Japanese-American actor, but his schedule prevented it. With a driving need for a feature, we had to intervene. We had to be inventive. Harnessing our creative license, we pulled his verbatim from previous interviews and fed them through an AI program to formulate new responses. And I have to immediately, like, one, fuck off with that, and two, with a driving need for a feature. Again, do a fucking follow-up. Hey, we had this thing, we had an interview scheduled, and this happened. Is there anything we can do? Can we make this, like, you just have to do that. And if you're like, oh, but we need to get the story out, then write a story about how he's so busy he couldn't even talk to you. That's interesting. That's not using fucking AI and then defending your use of AI, which is crazy. It's just unbelievable. Okay, reading through the interview, they note, was produced with Claude Copilot and edited by humans. Thank fucking God. But also, it's obviously fucked up because they also fucking talk about... Okay, so he's the son of Sonny Chiba. Sonny Chiba. Legendary actor. Beloved figure in the world. They asked and then printed a AI version of this guy talking about wanting to make his father proud. And it goes from being, that's wild, to fuck yourselves. Like no one should ever agree to an interview with Esquire Singapore, right? Like, no. You should never, no entertainment person, no person ever should agree to be interviewed by them because they thought it was a good idea to fucking have their fake ass version of a real actor talk about wanting to make his dead father proud. It's just fucked up. They shouldn't have done it at all. And they definitely shouldn't have done that fucking part. And again, like I said, it pushes it from like, oh, that's fucking weird to, hey, fuck you forever. You guys suck ass forever. A bunch of people are obviously unhappy with it. And also they were like, hey, just fucking publish the photos. Like, you've got these photos, just publish the photos. You couldn't do the interview after? Like, just say, like, he's so busy we couldn't interview him. Here's our thoughts on him. Like, whatever. We interviewed so-and-so who knows him from such and such. Like, just fucking do your due diligence. But, like, what the fuck? I don't know. That story just really pissed me off. Because it's fucking crazy. One more, unfortunately, like, I don't know why. It's just this Saturday stuff, we just ended up with a lot of garbage AI stories. And I do have one more. Sorry, I have to get this open there. Okay, great. I can put this piece on here. Me TV. Me TV Tunes Um, they, you know what? I don't actually know. I apologize. I don't know enough about MeTV and MeTV Tunes. What is about this? What's going on with this thing? Okay, so it is a fairly new TV stations coming to cable and streaming services. Looks like they're on a lot of New York places. They're new, and they have a whole cartoon thing, and they're basically like getting broadcast licenses of old stuff for nostalgia's sake, and then trying to make that a business, which is like, okay, sure. And they announced a while ago that, hey, on March 30th, we're going to start airing the Super Mario Brothers Super Show, which makes a lot of sense, right? Like Mario movies coming out, like there's nostalgia all the time for stuff. The kids need to know about Captain Lou Albano. They need to know about the good version of Mario that was out there. I'm being somewhat tongue in cheek on that, but I mean it is in many ways a delightful. There's a lot of heart to it. I'm not going to pretend like the Super Mario Brothers Super Show is good or was good at the time, but it's fun. That's a fun little thing. And Captain Lou does a good job as Mario. But anyway, so MeTV is like, yeah, we're going to premiere this. We got the license. We're going to rebroadcast it. You know, the live action part, the other part, the Zelda stuff, all that stuff. We're going to do it in there. And we're going to make it. And it's going to be great. Here's the thing that they did along with that. They put it through an AI upscaler. And it looks, as you might have guessed from the fact that I'm talking to you about it, it looks fucking terrible. It's kind of amazing. There's been a bunch of stuff shared online of it. But it it's awful. It's just awful. It's just incredible looking. To be fair, I saw a non-upscale picture of the source material. Looks terrible too. Yes, so that is an important thing to reference. The photo that was going around the most was of a fucked up looking art. So there was a bit of a bait and switch there with like, oh yes, the upscaling of this bad scene that it is supposed to be bad in the art does look bad. But other scenes also, like Lashbrook, beyond the first things that were shared, other stuff also looks terrible. Because it's not like they ruined a great looking show. It's just that the details are smoothed. Like, a thing about the original series is you could sharpen it if you wanted to. You could like play with the colors if you wanted to upscale the colors, and I think that might benefit it. But what they did was they smoothed all of the rough edges, and it just looks really bad. Also, part of the upscaling process, I don't understand how this happened with the upscaling. The title is wrong. They somehow did some sort of AI post-processing something that it says, yeah, they did, the title just got wrong. Yeah, it looks real bad. Oh, and also apparently, it's the audio from the DVD release, so that is the least that audio, but yeah, it looks real bad. It just looks really terrible. And that's the end of me talking about AI, I think. Yeah, I don't think I have any other AI stories to say. Which is good, because I don't know what else I could say except like, yeah, man, they keep making this shit look real bad. All right, good. This pops out like that. This pops out like that. Again, very, very surprised that this kit has a gimmick to it. This $20 third-party kit. It's not the best gimmick in the world, but it is the gimmick. That's impressive. I'm very surprised. Pleasantly surprised with that. Hey, there was some layoffs on Friday, unfortunately, and we will talk about them because we do talk about layoffs in the video game space. We often talk about that. Let's start with 30% of the staff of Piranha Games. That is the Mech Warper people. Mech Warrior. Yeah, the Mech Warrior people have laid off 30% of the staff, according to the CEO. Massive layoffs. Now, originally, it was said by someone who used to work there that it was 60%. And so it was clarified by the CEO, no, it's 30%. And they also the CEO was like, hey, obviously this is a terrible day. We're still working on the DLC. Which is just like, okay, read the fucking room. Multiple employees at the studio said on LinkedIn they were affected by layoffs. Writing, VFX, environmental, technical art, level design, software engineering, and more. A fellow employee and former senior said that the term internally that was used was economic restructuring, which is the formal way of saying laid off, of course. This is the second round of job cuts. They in January 2025 laid off 38 employees were laid off there. To refresh you a little bit, Piranha Games was an independent game studio that was purchased in 2020 by Inad Global 7, and then 5 years later, they laid off 38 people, and now they've laid off 30% of the remaining people. I don't know how many people that is. I can only give you percentage. That's the percentage from the CEO. That is not, of course, an exact number, but that's 30% of the workforce is still a lot of people. And they're basically saying that Mech Warrior didn't hit their targets for audience. It didn't grow as much as they would have wanted to. It did not meet necessary sales targets. A lot of shit going on there. But apparently, Mech Warrior 5 Clans sold below expectations. And they say they're still going to be able to ship stuff, so we'll see. But I would say that if I had the game, I wouldn't have high hopes that the DLC was going to be forthcoming in a quality manner with that many people in the studio being laid off. You know what? I did have one more AI story, sort of. Can't pretend like this isn't a part of this story. There were also layoffs at Take-Two. Including the head of AI at Take-Two. Did you know there was a head of AI at Take-Two? Well, they don't work there anymore. And then an unknown number of team members. Luke Dickin, whose job title, former head of AI for Take-Two Interactive. Take-Two has declined to comment. This was it was part of Zynga and Take-Two. And then, yeah. We've been developing cutting-edge technology to support game development for 7 years. These folks know how to match innovation and novel problem-solving approaches with strong product design chops to create systems that empower people through the development workflow. So I should say that when you're the head of AI, that might easily mean, hey, Lord Crashington, that this person was the head of their like game logic AI, like enemy AI, and not the head of AI is like, oh, how do we use Gen AI to like make things cheaper, right? Like it could be a different kind of AI. I don't have that answer in front of me. I don't have that answer for you, but it might not be, it might be the traditional, not the modern context of AI. He worked at Zynga for over 10 years. Most recently, Senior Director of Applied AI. And then again, then he worked as Head of AI at Take-Two from 2025 to 2026. Building out the AI. Okay, well, I'll say this. Last 2 years, building out the AI team, applying emerging technologies to real game development problems. So okay. So I should have read the rest of the article. That sounds like generative AI workflow shit, right? Like, if you're saying the last 2 years, we pushed the edge of what's possible, applying emerging technologies to real game development problems. Yeah, okay, that's the shit version of AI, not the like, oh, AI systems. Okay, yeah, so there you go. So it was about this kind of AI. And of course, remember that Take-Two is very excited about Genie, that's Google's AI tool, and in use of game development, and was defending. It's like, this isn't like other AI, which is just like, okay, all right. So yeah, maybe they're taking a step back from it. Director of AI Research, Senior Manager, and 2 Senior Data Analysts. And the team, apparently the whole team was out. So apparently they're very excited about AI, but maybe they realize they don't need to have a department to do it. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. All right, this fell out. I don't like that. Don't know what's going on here. I don't have any answers for you. I can't tell if the holes aren't deep enough, if it's just a little too big, but it's not sliding in and fitting where it should be. And so we are going to cheat. I don't have to take this apart. I've recognized this is all working. So we will be using a little bit of liquid cement. Testors, liquid cement. We'll be doing a small amount of it. Just basically the idea is that we are just going to try to keep this piece locked in place so it doesn't fall out. I think it might be the hole alignment is what's wrong. I can't really tell because I thought maybe this was just too big, but it doesn't seem too big looking at it closely. So I have just applied a little bit of liquid cement here. And then I will press and hold this piece down, and then it will do its job, and it will hopefully adhere itself and then not fall out. But yeah, the tolerances on this aren't perfect. As you can see, like this line should be a little more, well, this isn't good either, but yeah. Like, look, I could sand this down. I could try to make this line up better, but it's not really worth that effort. Hell yeah. All right, and now we can put this piece on here. I do also want to point out that I'm certainly not trying to breathe in those. I do have a window open. There is ventilation in this room. And I don't leave the bottle open that long when I'm doing this kind of work. But if you are going to be using something that like melts a tiny microscopic layer of plastic, then I would highly suggest that you do it in a well-ventilated area. If you're going to be using a product like that. All right, so let's try to get this arm on here. The other arm went on nice and easy. Oops. I don't know why this one is being annoying, but it is. All right, so okay. So this has to go in like this. Yeah, that opens, but that's fine. Okay. That, and there's a gap there. Try to get this together here. We will take a pause for the cause in a bit. I'm going to definitely try to get this done before we do that. And I'll talk about ways you can support the channel and everything I do here. And then we'll get into some other stuff. Why is this? I'm going to look ahead here. I don't think there's, yeah, okay. There's no like trick to get this to work. Yeah, well, it goes like that. And then this tilts up a little bit, which allows me to get to slide this piece in. I guess I can do this, but this feels... I don't know why this is giving me such trouble, but it is. Giving me a bunch of trouble. The other arm didn't give me any trouble at all. Put it at a bit of an angle here. Maybe that'll help. Whoops. Fucking flew on at me. Wild. Okay. Goes like that. And then... there we go. That was very strange. Now again, some of this stuff is just going to be a little wonky because it is a third-party kit. Like this one is way looser than this one. And I don't know why that's the case, but it is. But it did go on. It's being very odd. But yeah, it's a little loose. I don't know why, but it is. Yeah, it shouldn't be loose like that. But again, I can't tell you why it's being loose. Other than just, again, tolerances being a little off here and there. Little panel, little marker on there. All right, we can now move on to the feet. We'll get a little bit of the feet done before we take our pause to the cause, which will be my opportunity to talk to you about ways you can support the channel and all that stuff. So we'll get a little bit of the feet done here as we continue to work on this kit. Shoulders took a while to put together, but that's okay. And then again, there is the gimmick, which is remarkably cool. Yeah. Yeah, it's looking pretty good so far. Let's get some of this out here. Big 80s style shoulders. Yes, big old shoulder pads. I mean, it's also in keeping with it being a kit that was like in universe, this mobile suit was inspired by the heavy arms, which also has big broad shoulders. All the better to shoot missiles at you. So yeah, heavily in that kit is heavily, or that design is heavily inspired by that, and so this is a, shows up in this design. All right, so we'll get those together, and then I need to get I-22, if you can believe it. We'll get that together, and then we'll probably take our pause and talk about ways to support me and what I do here. I got a bunch of model kits coming in the mail over the next few days, which is good. Restocking the coffers. Lord Crashington would like me to hit the dance button, and I will do that. If you are new here on the stream, I have a redemption for channel points called the dance button. If you press the dance button, then I will press a song and dance around a little bit, and that song is new every month. There's a new song every month, and here is this one. Here we go. Lord Crashington says, we set a new high temp today of 79 degrees, breaking the record of 77 from 1921. Tomorrow will be in the 40s. That is, man, that is totally a tonal shift. You will have, there will be some flowers in some people's yards that will wilter because of the sudden cold shift. The sudden temperature shift there will definitely fuck up some plants. Here, it's warm. It's warm here. The window is open. A little bit of a breeze is coming through, but not enough of a breeze. Yes, it is currently 69 degrees with a 82% humidity. And it will tomorrow. Ugh. It will be in the high 60s, low 70s, mid 70s, and then tomorrow night it might even rain a little bit. Will it rain tomorrow and night into Monday? Who can say? It might rain. It would be great if it did, because we do not have enough rain around here. We are in desperate need of some rain in this area. We are in a drought. So I would love for the rain to come. But it has not. All right. We've got these done here. The first steps in making our feet here for our legs, which it looks like we can do most of the legs together at the same time, which is always great. Oh, yeah, we got the left leg and then the right leg. Okay. But we'll keep working on this kit when we come back from the pause for the cause. This is my opportunity, friends, to talk to you for just a little while about ways you can support me and what I do here. Everything I'm about to talk about is optional. You are under no obligation to any of these things. But if you would like to help me out financially, I'm going to give you some opportunities to do so. But again, you take care of you. You watching is the most important thing. If you want to subscribe, that would be great. If you want to leave, you want to help me out here, that'd be good. I'll talk about some ways, and you can put your money where your mouth is if you want or not. If you are currently a subscriber, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe, the Tier 2 Blue emote in the chat. Being a subscriber is the easiest way to support what I do here through Cash Money or your Prime Gaming token. If you have Amazon Prime, you can link with your Twitch. Hi, I'm John. Welcome. That is a way to support me and what I'm doing here. Again, you do not have to do that. If you want to do that, that would be great. Because you're already here. Gifting a sub. Bits and coins. Those are other ways to support me because you're already here on Twitch. So if you want to support me on that way, you can. But I'll talk about some other ways. Another way to support me is to join my Patreon at patreon.com/PatBaer. Over on the Patreon, there's a $1, $3, $5, and $10 tier. There are different rewards for the different tiers. Consider joining me on Patreon. My $10 patrons will have a poll about what I do when this kit is done. I don't think we're going to finish this kit on Monday, but we'll definitely finish it during the stream on Thursday. And so I do need to know what I'm working on next. And my $10 patrons are going to be able to, patrons tomorrow will be able to start voting on what that next thing is. So there you go. That's the Patreon. You can join that. I have a YouTube channel at youtube.com/PatBaer. Over on my YouTube, of course, subscribing is free, and please do. I make videos. You can watch them. But also, a thing you can do over there is you can become a member. And for just $2 a month, you could get my Wednesday videos, because I do a weekly Wednesday video, and you'd be able to see that on Tuesday, because I'll send you a message, and then you'll get a notification that message came in, and you can watch that video before other people see it. It's kind of neat, little exclusivity there. Those are all monthly ways to support me. But of course, you can always directly do like a tip jar, like a little tip jar there. I got a Ko-Fi and a PayPal, and you can make a donation directly. And everything I make through direct donations through YouTube, which also includes AdSense, so watching my videos helps me out, through Patreon and through Twitch, all goes into a fund. And from that fund, I pull money out to buy model kits and Lego sets and gear as well. I bought this kit because of your generosity. Past you was helping out present me. I was able to pick this kit up, which I was interested in because I was like, oh yeah, I've got some money for that, so I will be able to do that. I'm just checking a thing real quick. Pardon me. Eyes are wandering. Okay, that is not processed yet. That makes sense. Just wanted to know how I did on YouTube AdSense in March, but I can't find that information yet. It's not available yet. It will be, but not yet. So I do have a backlog. I talked about that. The next thing I'm going to be building, my $10 patrons are going to decide what I work on. But there's a different part of this, all right? That's great. If you want to decide what I build next, there is a way to do that, which is to buy something for me to build. I have an Amazon wish list. If you wanted to buy something on the wish list, you certainly could. Over on the wish list, I got model kits and Lego sets. I got inexpensive kits. I got expensive kits. There's some stuff on sale, like if you want to see me build a Optimus Prime from Transformers, the Transformers 1 version of Optimus Prime, I could do that. There is the Poor Type Gundam marker. If you just want to let me experiment with a different kind of Gundam marker, you could do that. There's expensive kits and inexpensive kits. All kinds of different things and things. And I would be happy to build that, like, because it's got really good colors to it. The G-Quux, Sugai's Gelgoog. There are, I believe, 3 Gelgoogs out there. And I already have one of the Gelgoogs, but that's another one. And I would build that. I'll build both of them. But yeah, you could buy something for me to build and it comes to me in the mail, jumps the queue, and becomes the next thing that I work on. Because it would be nice. My alternative to Amazon, because it's nice to have alternatives for people, is you could buy something from my the store page I have on Throne. I have a wish list on Throne. Take a look at that. And then, of course, you could always support me in the most convoluted. If you need it to be, just take so many steps and be convoluted, there is a solution, which is to go to USA Gundam Store and buy a gift card. They will send you an email with a gift card code. Then you could send me a whisper on Twitch or a private message on Blue Sky or Mastodon with that gift card code, and then I would use that gift card code to buy something at USA Gundam Store. And you could even be like, hey, I saw this thing. You should just get that. And I'd be like, oh, yeah, all right, that sounds good. I'll build that. Or actually, I built that 3 years ago. Do you have something else that you like me to build? Or just get whatever, that kind of thing. You could do that. You could do that. You don't have to, but you could. Those are all the ways to support me that cost money. If you would like to help me out for free, join my Discord. I got a nice little Discord. We'd love to have you hang out there. I post stuff that I'm working on. People post stuff they've been doing. I post build photos at the end of every stream so you can track my progress. If you miss a stream, you can just go to the build photos section of my Discord and check that out. Let's see, a couple video links. I have 2 Anime Club videos to link to you. Pat Baer's Anime Club, my ongoing video series where I talk about anime. I do have my wrap-up to the winter season and my preview of the spring season, which we're currently in. That's a long-ass video I recorded on Twitch, and you can watch that and get an idea of what I loved last season and what I didn't love, and what I'm excited about this season, some of which I'm already watching. And then the second video is because the anime awards are happening right now, or the voting in the anime awards are happening. So your voice could be heard about the best anime of the year, or the best isekai of the year, or best couple, or best voiceover performance, Japanese. You could get your voice heard in those categories. And yeah, I talked about them. I kind of did a voter's guide. I've been doing that the last couple of years. And then I'll also do another video for Pat Baer's Anime Club around the release when it airs. I'll talk about like what I agree with, and I'll talk about what I don't agree with. Like if an anime I don't think was that great didn't win Anime of the Year, instead of what I think should win, which is the final season of My Hero Academia, because to me that's the best anime of the year. But if that doesn't win, and it's like Dan season 2, I'll be like, it was good, but it wasn't great. It wasn't my favorite season of Dan. I liked it, but I didn't love it. I didn't love it that hard. Also, that video, I talk about City throughout it because it didn't get nominated for enough good stuff. Best Animation, they only nominate fucking Shonen for Best Animation. City was the best animated anime of 2025. Not Siri, City. I did not want my phone to respond. The anime City had the best animation of 2025, hands down. Should have been nominated. But they always go for like fight choreography, and I understand that. Shonen's a big deal, but come on. Come on! And then Kuma Baer is the other video series that I do that is also about anime, weirdly enough. And that's my anime recommendation series, and all this month I'm recommending stuff from the winter season, maybe some stuff you missed. Isekai Office Worker. Perhaps you missed a lovely boys' love series about a guy that shouldn't have been summoned to another world, that doesn't have any powers, except the power of being a guy who's very good at management of the books and tracing corruption within companies and the church. As John says, please don't miss Isekai Office Worker. Very good. Yes, it is. It is a fun isekai because it has a main character that is not overpowered. It is a fun boys' life, boys' love, I should say, not boys' life, boys' love, because it does have some pretty boys, and it actually is a queer anime. It's very gay. Instead of like another series, like I do think Noble's Vacation Recommendation is also boys' love, but it's not like that show is boys' love in the fact that there's only one character who is a woman that has a name in the show, and she is introduced in episode 12. It's that kind of BL. Isekai Office Worker is like, oh, you two are having sex, huh? Okay. It's great, though. Fucking great. I said though, I shouldn't even said though. It is great. Speaking of anime, I have 2 new anime to talk about. One show I don't know if I'm going to keep watching. Another show I think is pretty much hitting me exactly where I want it. And I'll talk about both those in just a moment. But first, I have to transition back to the overhead camera. And just to be fun, I'm going to play a little music while that happens. And I'm going to drink some water because, oh boy, I'm sweating out. So I need to rehydrate. And we'll do all that right now. All right. Let's talk about, while we work on the feed here, let's talk about an observation log of my fiancée who calls herself a villainess and Snowball Earth, which Crunchyroll capitalizes. The manga doesn't, but Crunchyroll does. So I'll do capitals because that's what they're doing. Observation log. It's an isekai, but it's not. One of the 2 main characters is from another world, or reports to be from another world. But the show is from the perspective of the prince, the other character. And there is, there are some people that say, hey, that main character is not from another world, therefore this is not an isekai. It's just because it's about the guy. But it's like, no, it's just from his perspective. Also, the thing I will say is this is based on a manga that won a isekai award. They won the Isekai Comic Prize back when it debuted. So to me, that says this is a fucking isekai. If it won an isekai award, it's an isekai. The mangaka for Iruma-kun says that work is not an isekai. It fucking is. Like, yes, author intent is important, but come on. The demon realm is another world. Come on. But anyway, back to this one. Back to business here. So, Prince Cecil. We meet Prince Cecil as a young age, and Prince Cecil, through training, through a lack of interest, through boredom, we don't know, has no emotions. Just never really lets any emotions show. Just kind of is just existing. Not a blank slate, but maybe just fucking depressed. Anyway, Cecil meets Birdia. And Birdia is just like, I'm the future Villainess. And he's like, what? He's like, what are you talking about? Like, he finds that immediately charming, and also, most importantly, interesting and funny. She's got fucking personality, and he is very excited about that. So she explains, which is very silly of her. So, hey, there's this thing called an Otome game, and I played it in my previous life. And now, so I can tell you that they're about the future. And I know that my role is to be the Villainess. So I have accepted that role, and I am playing my part. That someday you will fall in love with the heroine, and I will become a Villainess. Because of that, it will drive me to become a Villainess, and and that will lead you to a happy ending. Congratulations. There's also a brief moment there in conversation that she has a pet fox named Kuro, and he notices that there's something special about that, but he doesn't say anything. He lets it slide for now. But anyway, he is charmed by this weird girl and her nonsense. Now, why does she tell people that she from the future, or she can see the future because this is all predetermined? I don't know. I don't know why she tells people this. I get the sense that maybe she is just a little bit of a goof. Just a little goofy. Anyway, she says that I'll tell you something that's going to happen in the future that is going to be awful. There is going to be a pandemic. It'll be it'll be awful, and the cure is very rare. So even my mom will die, and there's nothing we can do about it because, like I said, the cure is very rare. Because you need the Luona leaf, and there's that's just not in abundance, and so many people will die because of it. And later, it doesn't happen a year later, and she's very fucking confused because the game, like that happens in the game, it is a character trait for her as a Villainess that no one could help her mother. Like, it is supposed to happen, and it didn't happen because based on the description she gave him of what the disease was, Prince Cecil sought after, like, identified what the disease was, and then grew enough of the Luana so that when the first case was identified, that person got cured immediately and the disease didn't spread. Which is huge. Like, obviously, this prince, this wise prince, manages to save a bunch of people. And the thing that's interesting about that, like, obviously, like, there's a lot to unpack with that. To me, the most interesting thing is that he believed her. That he was like, okay, you seem so confident about all of this. We'll see what happens. And so then a bunch of people are saved, and she's very confused about that. He gives her a vial of what he refers to as a universal medicine. So that is some sort of like elixir of some kind, a cure-all. And apparently, while he was trying to find out more about this curse, he discovered a secret room in the Royal Library, which had books, and one of those books was the recipe for this medicine. Because he wants to keep her safe. And the episode ends with our girl, Bertia, undeterred. Completely undeterred. She is going to go through with this. She is going to continue her role and hasten her role as being the villainess, because it's time for her father, the Marquis, to turn into an evil man. Because, of course, in the video game version, the Otome game version, his wife dies, and he and his daughter both like become corrupted. So now it's time for him to be corrupted, because that's according to the story. I'm gonna keep watching this one. This is a fun isekai. She is her determination to go with the plot line. Like, it hasn't been stated yet why she's so adamant about fulfilling her destiny in it. It seems like a lot of these are, oh, I was reborn as the villainess, but I'm going to change my fate. Like that kind of thing. Like, I'm going to escape my fate. I'm going to escape the cruel reality. In this case, Bertia seems like hell bent on doing whatever she can to fulfill that destiny and follow the story to her own personal detriment. And I think it's not stated in this episode, but my guess, because I haven't read the source material, my guess is it's because she wants Cecil to have a happy ending so badly. She's going to go out of her way to facilitate that happy ending for the character that she likes, even though knowing that she could prevent herself from being a villainess and therefore be with him, which would make him happy, because we're able to see, oh, this dude is happy right now being with her. Her personality has changed him in a positive way. I'm enjoying it. This was fun. This is a fun isekai that I'm certainly going to keep watching for a bit at least, and we'll see what's going on with it as we go forward. But right now, anyway, I can tell you, I'm into it. Let's see. The other one is Snowball Earth. And I fucking have no idea if I'm going to keep watching this one, because the part of the show that I like the most, that's not even fair. This whole episode is all setup for the story. And I liked the setup, but the setup, unless they do a lot of flashbacks, the setup is over. This is basically episode 1 is basically like the prologue for the series. This manga is been recommended by a lot of visionary people in video games and anime and all that, and manga. In 2025, kaiju show up in space, from space. If only, right? Kaiju show up. And Earth is like, okay, humanity is going to band together and we are going to fight this. They've got big, cool laser weapons that they use to take out these giant space kaiju. And they also have they designed some big robots, some cool robots that look neat. Smart robots that have an artificial intelligence. And the idea is that the robots kind of force the kaiju away from populations and then self-detonate, blowing up the kaiju. Which seems overkill, but okay. Except the robot doesn't want to die. It has self-preservation. Its AI has adapted, and it's just like, I don't want that to happen. And he's just like, yeah, I don't want to die. And the robot's creator is like trying to figure out a way to like maybe overwrite the AI to convince it, because this is the plan they've had, and this is like the only thing they can think to do. But don't worry about it, because there is a solution to their problem, which is the creator's son, Tetsuo, is just like, maybe we could just fight the kaiju. He has the brilliant idea of using the giant smart robot to beat the shit out of the kaiju and just fight it. So he pilots the robot. He saves the world for the moment. This is an awkward, weird little guy. He has trouble communicating, but he's trying his best, and he becomes a hero for the world, and that's not great for him, as he's just trying to fucking figure shit out and make friends. He just wants to fucking make friends. So over the next 10 years, they start calling him the kaiju, and his robot has gotten stronger and evolved along and had upgrades. And the robot that has been referred to as Snowman, or the Snowmen, he calls Yukio. And because all he's done from childhood until young adulthood is fight monsters, he has like no social skills, and it's just kind of rough. And he's like, my only friend is this robot. And he's like, I gotta figure out how to correct that. Anyway, 10 years after that, there's the final battle. He's an adult now. It's time to fucking finish this. There's a bunch of kaiju in space, and they've got a big laser on this warship, and they're just on escort duty. The warship is going to take care of it. It's going to be great. There is a very comedic moment where Tetsuo is just another example of Tetsuo being socially awkward. It's a very silly, on purpose, silly comedic moment to add some levity to what's going on. This weird little man now. And then that moment passes, and it's time for the laser. And everyone on the ship realizes that the main weapon is destroyed, and it was probably sabotage. And they all recognize that they're all going to die. And they do. This comedic, silly moment is then immediately pulled down into despair as all of these characters who were sort of introduced, the hints of some design, some stuff, there was the wacky moment, they're all dead. And they recognize they are not going to survive. And so Tetsuo and Yukio, the robot, just fight the kaiju. And Yukio takes a lot of damage. And now, 2 decades after deciding, hey, I don't want to explode, I want to fight, Yukio the robot realizes I have to explode because I am damaged, forcibly ejects Yukio into an escape pod, and blows up. And their last conversation is, I hope on Earth you can make some friends. Which Tetsuo is going to do on Earth. And all the kaiju die. Yukio sacrifices itself to defeat the kaiju. The kaiju threat is done. And it takes Tetsuo 8 years to get to Earth. And the episode ends with the Earth covered in ice. Snowball Earth, the title. It's an ice planet now. And I think the show is going to be this socially awkward goof trying to find the remnants of humanity so he can make friends with all of them. And I'm pretty sure that's the plot of the show going forward. It's a mech series. In the first episode, I don't know if there's any more mechs. I think it might have been the one giant robot. I think that might be it. I don't know. I don't know what to think about it. All I can say is my impression after the first episode is, oh wow. I kind of would have watched the whole series leading up to that. Like if that had been the season finale or series finale, and we just watched a teen, like a preteen into a teenager, like battle monsters and try to make friends and try to relate to his dad who created this thing and watch Yukio evolve over the season and become more sentient maybe, or more like defined. Like I can't pass judgment on the whole series based on just the one episode, but I can tell you that my interest in the show, I was more interested in this episode than I'm not as interested in episode 2. You know, like, to me, like, okay, well, this guy, there's no fucking way it was 8 years, right? In 8 years, the planet didn't get covered in ice. Like, he must have been gone much longer than that, and that's gotta be a plot point. And if it isn't a plot point, I apologize, but like, he must have been in there for a lot longer. It must have been like 100, not 100 years, but whatever. It must have been longer than 8 years that he was in stasis waiting to get to Earth. Like, maybe the planet froze in 8 years, but it feels like it feels like it fucking didn't. F3. Sorry, I need a 3. But I don't know. I don't know what to think about this one. I can't stop thinking about it. I watched the episode yesterday, and I was like, "What the fuck? What that was? What? No, wait. What the heck? What happened to everybody? What? What's going on? It's fucking wild." I wonder if this is going to be a Dr. Stone situation. The Dr. Stone situation is that there was a premise outlined by the first couple episodes that I thought was really interesting, and then the actual show happened, and I was less interested. I've talked about this before, but basically, the idea of like these three friends, well, it changed pretty early, but the idea that maybe it was going to be these three friends in this, they've survived in this post-apocalyptic world after some kind of event, like, made all of the people into, like, petrified all these people, and they're going to explore the world, try to find a cure, and just have, like, adventures and all that. And then quickly it was like, oh no, there's a villain, and we need to get people together for that, and oh, these people survived, and now we need to, like, bring science back to the world and invent a fucking phone so that we can fight this, like, guy and all that. It's just like, it just goes off the rails, like, almost immediately, and the fun, like, adventure becomes this bigger thing in a way that I was like, this show is doing what it wants to do. I'm just not necessarily on board with what it wants to do. And I don't know. I can't tell you. I don't have the information about what is going to happen into in episode 2 called Encounters. Like, the episode is called Encounters. I assume there will be encounters. and he will run into something. People, aliens, a fun dog companion, a robot of some sort. I don't know. I can only tell you that it was doing some stuff that I was into, and then it was like, and that's all to set up this, and I'm like, oh, okay, and I'm less into what it gave me by the end. The promise of what that is, unless there's like a lot of flashbacks to that previous stuff, which would be kind of cool. I don't know. Maybe it's fucking brilliant, and I'm just like, my disappointment in the fact that the stuff I thought was neat is gone and not part of this series will be. I will feel bad for my words and deeds, perhaps. I don't know on that one, but I will say I'm fucking interested in the second episode and finding out what's going on. Like, there is a big mystery now. But when you tell me that the cool mech, the big robot, dies in the first episode, I'm like, oh. I like the big robot. Oh, well. So we'll see. I'm definitely going to watch episode 2. I don't know if I'm going to cover episode 2. It'll depend on what happens in episode 2. If I decide, oh, I want to talk about this. Or if I decide, yeah, I'm done with it. I don't know. I don't know where we're going to go. But again, I do plan to watch Observation Log of My Fiancée Who Calls Herself a Villainess and cover that. I think Sunday I'm going to watch The Food Diaries of Miss Maid. I think I'll watch that. Let's see. Did that come on there? Yeah. Did Crunchyroll get that episode early? Okay, they did get the episode early, and I don't know if they're always going to have the episode early. So, okay, that aired on the 31st. So, okay, so they got that episode on Tuesday. That's weird. This is a Sunday show in Japan, so I don't know what's happening there. I might cover it. I don't know. Food Diary Miss Maid is one that I might be covering. I'm not sure what I'm going to cover for Monday right now. I should check the airings here and see if I can figure that out. I need I6 here. Yeah, let me see. What aired today that I didn't get to that I could cover on Monday? Oh yeah, another season of Ascendance. Ascendance of a Bookworm. Adopted daughter arc, basically. AI was used in the opening animation and some of the backgrounds for the opening animation. Obvious AI was used, and it sucked. That sucks. That fucking sucks. Come on. Yeah, I'm just looking to see where did Mao end up airing? Did anyone pick up Mao? The time travel show. Viz has it, yeah. It's based on the manga. Did anyone pick that up? Ooh, I don't know if anyone did. The Sunrise is doing that. I don't know if anyone picked up Mao. Maybe that was on Hulu. Is that the one that ended up on Hulu? Mao seemed kind of cool. I don't know. It is based on the manga. Who did that? I can't remember. But yeah, that is based on the manga there. Oh yeah, that's the Rengoku one. I'm not gonna watch that. Oh yeah, the Garden of God show. I do want to watch that one. Let's see. Yeah, I want to watch that one. I gotta check that out. See, that's the guy that, like, he cleared out a bunch of evil spirits, and so now other spirits are showing up because they think he's cool. It just seems like a nice little slice of life, and I do want to watch. Like I'm interested in that, so I am gonna try to watch that. That aired today, so I'll have to figure out if somebody picked that up or not. And then I don't know what I'm gonna watch on Sundays again, but Food Diary of Miss Maid. Yeah, I'll try to see about watching that. Mark is the one. I don't know if I know that one. Oh yeah, there's a few shows that I would like to try. We'll see. We'll see what comes up and what I end up wanting to watch. We'll see. We'll see. Now, I somehow missed that Damon's the Shadow Realm came out today. Damon's the Shadow Realm. I don't know if I know. Wait, I do. I think I know what that one is. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's on Crunchyroll. Brother and sister must fight to make their way back to each other. Separated at a young age. Daemons. Oh, that's right. Yes. Okay. Yeah. They must unite the world to save it from destruction. Okay. Yeah. There is an anime of that. Crunchyroll has it. Yeah, that does seem neat. I've heard good things about that. I haven't read that manga, but I've heard good things about it. So, yeah, that did come out today. There's just a lot. Hey, it's a weird thing to say. There's a lot of anime out there. Lot of anime coming out. But yeah, I'm trying to find stuff to cover on the channel because on the streams I should say because it's nice to have stuff to talk about. But I am trying to do new stuff. Like I don't really want to cover like I could tell you like today I could have it's the latest. Oh, Bones is doing the animation again. Okay, yes, it's an Arakawa. Like I could talk about this week the new season of That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, but like it's so many seasons into the show, it's like to me that just like nah, I'm good. I don't need to tell you about that. You could at this point it's like watch it if you want to. I mean, I'm excited about it. I think I like the show, and the manga is back. There was a brief hiatus there, but they are back in business. We are getting more of That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. The new chapter just came out, so that's nice. Getting back into that. We have some time left in the stream, so I want to hear from you, friends. We're done with Sprucey here. What are you watching right now? If you're watching an anime or regular TV stuff or streaming stuff, a YouTube series, you fall down a YouTube rabbit hole and now you're watching a bunch of stuff from a bunch of people. Are you playing any video games? You're reading anything? You watching anything? I always love hearing from you about things and things, so feel free to let me know what you got going on because I always love hearing about that. Your friend Pat right here. I'm watching a bunch of anime and enjoying a little bit of new stuff. We talked about that tonight. I am playing through Hearthstone, just playing some decks. There were a bunch of nerfs that came out, and none of those nerfs affected any of my decks, which I was very excited about. I thought for sure they were going to fix one of the decks that I have, my Repeat Death deck. I thought for sure that deck was going to get nerfed. Because that card is the card that I make use of to make that deck work. Other people are using in other decks to do just as many nonsense things, and so I was like, oh, they're definitely gonna have to nerf this, but they have not nerfed it. So I don't know. I was pleasantly surprised that they did not do that. So yeah, they didn't go after any of the decks that I'm currently playing. So I was like, hell yeah. Works for me. That doesn't seem right. No, that's not right. This doesn't fit like that. Because like that. That doesn't seem right either. I'm going to make sure this is the right piece because maybe I'm doing that wrong. This is, so it should be I7. So we're going to go over here and we're going to see if we can find I7 or if I7 has been removed, which means that would, no, I7 has been removed. Okay, so this is not I7. This is I8. Okay, so that explains why that wasn't working right. Again, this is an important lesson that I have to constantly relearn. I could have just sat there for a long time trying to figure out why this wasn't working. Turns out it was because of me. But yeah, Hearthstone. I'm still playing Fallout 4 with lots of silly mods. There was a mod that came out pretty recently that upgraded a bunch of cheat stuff that I was really happy with. I'm now doing some DLC stuff. I went in and dealt with some stuff in Nuka World, but there was also a skip that I never knew about in the Nuka World DLC for Fallout that allows you to just like completely bypass the gauntlet. Even with cheats, the gauntlet is really annoying. So the ability to just skip all that shit, I was really psyched about. I was just like, yeah, fuck this. I don't need to do this. I'm just gonna go through. So that was nice. But yeah, I had a good time goofing around in that. I'm still having fun in that silly shit. Okay, we got most of this leg together here. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Like, I played a little bit of the game I'm going to play on Tuesday, piece by piece, just a little bit. I'm resetting my progress, but I did try a little bit of it just because I wanted to see what it was like, and so I had like so I wasn't going in completely blind. I'm still going in pretty blind, but I'm not going in completely blind. All right, so I4. I forgot how chonky these legs are. These are chunky legs. Next week, let's see. Next week, it's anime stuff, watching that. I don't have anything on the books. Wrestling is coming, and so I will be. There's going to be a AEW pay-per-view this coming Sunday. So next week, probably Thursday, we'll talk about what's going on with the next AEW pay-per-view, because the card has not been set up a lot. I think that on Wednesday they're going to fill out that card for Dynasty. Right now there are 6 matches, and one of them is a pre-show that I don't know, that must have got set up on Ring of Honor. Alex Windsor, Marina Shafir, FTR, and Copen Cage, Moxley and Will Ospreay, Andrade and Darby Allin, MJF and Kenny Omega, Tekla and Jamie Hayter. So there is more. Hopefully we're gonna get fucking more for that pay-per-view. One would assume there'll be more. Figure it out there. But I imagine by Thursday we'll have more of the card, and then probably by Saturday we'll have the rest of it, because there'll be at least a few things brought up, the collision will have been taped, but they'll have voiceover of, and also added the card, this and this. So that'll be Sunday. And then there's going to be Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling in Canada around that show. And so I'll be watching some of that as well. Hooray. Laura Crashton says, Lashbrook says, been playing a lot of the new Marathon version. Been having pretty good luck doing Quest solo recently. I think the dub is all out or about, so I started watching season 2 of Frieren. Hell yeah, Frieren. Only new show I've watched is Akane Banashi, and so far I think it's a really good adaptation. Hell yeah. And Laura Crashton says, I got Temten, Swarm, which is a spin-off of the Pokemon clone that is also a Vampire Survivors clone that is fun. Okay. You can have your dudes evolve during a run and unlock others to start as eggs that you have to hatch before you can use them. Okay. That sounds like it could be something. All right. Yeah. That sounds fun. I need F, F16 and F17. Okay. Get the old F16s going here. F16 and F17 is here. Yes. John started watching a Japanese live-action show called Dr. X. Gonna rewatch the new Pat Leber 2 remaster tonight and mess around with my many P-Cross games on Switch. Hell yeah. That sounds fun. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do after the stream tonight, because normally I watch the replay of Collision, but Collision aired on Thursday because of college basketball. So I don't know what I'm going to do after this. Kathleen, my friend Kathleen DeVere, from Loading Ready Run, does do a 12:30 a.m. My time anyway stream. And so I was like, oh, maybe I will check in with her, because I don't watch it because of wrestling. So I guess I'll probably do that, but I don't know what I'm going to do before that, you know? Oops. There are some nubbins on here that I got to get off before. Luckily I caught this before I tried to snap it together, but there is one nubbin here. We'll get that off, and then we will look for the other nubbins. I got to get better at constantly looking for that. Okay, there's no more as far as I can see. So we should be now one piece away from being done with a leg. So our stream on Monday will be the other leg, and then the other leg, the waist, the backpack, and then the guns. So there's and so I don't think that we are going to be done on with the stream on what was it? Oh yeah, I don't think we're going to be completed here. Sorry, losing my train of thought. I don't think we're going to be done with this kit on Monday. But I do think we'll be done on Thursday. So, as I mentioned, I am going to run a poll for my $10 patrons tomorrow about what is on deck. Because maybe the rest of this will just come together naturally, but I really don't think so. I think it'll be, because I still have a lot left to do, I think this will, take some time. We also have to panel line this, which I'll do on Monday as well. But I think it will be done by the end of Thursday's stream. But I still need to know what I'm working on next. Is this A9? Oh, this is not fully snapped together. Maybe that's why this didn't want to go on. This also could be not A9. So let me make sure. This was A9. Was this A9? Yes, that was A9. So this is the right piece. This is supposed to slide on here somehow. Snap this together, make sure it is together. There you go. That was the problem. The problem was it wasn't fully snapped together there. Okay, great. We're done with the leg here. There'll be some kind of connector that goes into the waist here to connect these together, but that doesn't get built here. But yeah. We made some progress that I'm happy with for tonight, and we will continue to work on this kit on Monday. This is a fun build that I am enjoying so far, and I hope you enjoyed tonight's stream. You got a couple more minutes. I don't know. You know what? We got enough time to panel line. I'll say that. There's enough time for me to panel line this leg because I'm not rushing out. Often on Saturdays, my default is to be ready to go because I have, I want to watch the wrestling thing with friends, but I don't have that tonight. So I don't have to rush the fuck out of here. Yeah, so you know what? I'm not going to fucking rush out of here. You know what's coming up next week on the 9th is the first paid expansion for Power Wash Simulator 2 is the Adventure Time pack. So I'm excited for that. I won't play it until I stream it. So I will resist. I'll make sure that I buy it and it loads. I'll make sure that works out. But I won't play it until it's time, which I think is fine and fair. But yeah, I am still excited for it to be coming out because I like Power Wash Simulator 2, and I feel like it didn't hit as hard as 1 did, and so hopefully the Adventure Time stuff will remind people that they really like Power Wash Simulator and make them want to get the second game. Yeah, I don't know the numbers. I can only talk about the impressions, and it feels like it hasn't hit as hard. Maybe it was coming all out at once instead of doing the early access. I don't know, but hopefully people check it out because I think it's a great game. But it could certainly be that the right DLC hits the right people and gets them excited and talking about it, and then that would lead to more people checking it out, which would be nice. But yeah, I am excited for a new Power Wash Simulator 2, and so we'll check that out when appropriate, when time is right. We will stream some of that, which will probably be the following week, because it will probably win the Patreon poll of what I do on that Tuesday. But it might not. It might not win it, and if it doesn't, then I'll do it the next week. But I think it'll win that poll. I'm pretty sure it'll win that poll. I don't know. I can't say for sure, because maybe my $3, $5, and $10 patrons will look at that and go, no, I don't care. I don't want you to do that. I want you to do this other thing. One of these other 2 things. You know what I still haven't done? Is I still haven't done a second stream where I try to get more achievements in Leave It Alone. That is the thing that still has not happened yet. That might happen this month. I can't say for sure, but it might happen this month because I do want to do that. So we'll see. Can't say it will or won't. All right, this leg has been panel lined, and then on Monday we will continue work on the other leg. Maybe we'll get the waist done and get this built here. I don't think we're going to finish this kit on Monday, as I said, but maybe we will. I don't know. Might all speak together nice and easy. This was a fun day. Thank you all so much for being here. What's going to happen now is we are going to go on a raid. We are going to go find somebody who is doing other cool things out there on the internet that we want to check out, and we want to go support them. As John says, we always end with a raid, which is true. That is a true statement. There's a brief occasions where I don't, but yeah, tonight we will. We're going to go find somebody doing cool stuff. Who's out there doing things and things that we want to go hang out with. Sometimes my friends aren't streaming on Saturdays that I want to go hang out with. Sometimes they are. When I don't have a human live person to go raid, what we always fall back on is Giant Bomb Forever, the 24-hour channel. It looks like we are going to be watching pretty soon a Giant Bomb of the Year from 2011. Apparently today is I don't know what's happening here, but apparently this was a belated April Fool's. And I don't know what that means, but we're going to find out. Right now we can see Jeff talking about Skylanders, so let's get a little bit of that. Thank you all so much for being here. I hope you come along on this raid because it's fun to watch some old Giant Bomb stuff. But I want to thank you, and I hope you have a great rest of your night. I hope you come along on this raid, and we're going to find out what this delayed April Fool's Day streaming thing is going to be, and watch some old Giant Bomb stuff and hang out. And then again, I will be back on Monday for more model kit building, more conversation, new anime to talk about. And if there's not new anime that I want to talk about on Monday, then I will talk about, I don't know, manga. And I'll do a whole thing on, it'll be Manga Monday, perhaps. I don't know. But goodbye, everybody. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.